What if I told you that your revenue could be blocked because you have no system for your money generating ideas? Sometimes it isn't just about being productive, it's about not losing the ideas that will make you money. We're going to talk today about big to-do lists for revenue strategies, and it's coming from our blog this week that is to-do list management for increased revenue. Okay, and that blog is located at shaycannon.com/to-do. Again, that's shaycannon.com/to-do. All right, so let's get into it. Running a business without a clear direction for your actions is one of the biggest obstacles to your productivity and managing your time. And I'm going to add in there increasing your revenue. Okay. To get the most out of your time, it's best to be proactive. The proactive strategy for your time is to get into the minutia of what you should be doing and when. A list of tasks isn't just about remembering what needs to be done. It's your tool for reclaiming your time, reducing your chaos, and increasing intentional productivity that leads to more money in your business. It helps you prioritize what actually moves the revenue needle instead of getting stuck in busy work disguised as progress. A good to-do list brings structure to your day, direction to your week, and measurable momentum to your business. It creates mental clarity and sets you up to make consistent forward strides without burnout and spinning your wheels. So, especially if you don't have a team, this is not optional, it is essential. And that's just our introduction for this week. Let's get into the first strategy of the week, and that is big to-do list revenue strategy. All right. The big exhaustive to-do list is your brain dump headquarters. All right. The unfiltered, unprioritized home of everything you want to do, fix, build, and create in your business. It's where you park ideas before they become plans. So for you online service-based solopreneurs or entrepreneurs without a team, this list is a lifeline. It keeps your vision from getting lost in the daily grind and stops important goals from slipping through the cracks just because they aren't urgent today. Imagine this. You're juggling client work, trying to fix your broken booking link, still haven't sent last month's email newsletter, and now you just remembered you wanted to finally pitch yourself for different podcasts. But all of that is buried somewhere in your mental clutter. So that's exactly why you need a master list that holds the weight of your future goals so you don't have to hold it in your head. All right. That is what we're talking about today. That is what's in the blog, but you already know here on the morning show, I give you more. So let me pull up this show notes, okay? And I have 10 strategies for you today. Top hacks for revenue generating big to-do lists. Okay. I separated it into 3 categories. Heather says she feels so seen. Girl, you know you have to put it down somewhere, right? Well, it's one thing to tell you to put it down somewhere. It's another thing to kind of help you out with how you're going to create this system. So I put this into 3 different categories: brainstorming, capturing, and organizing. Okay. So I got your 3 strategies for brainstorming. Number 1, you can brainstorm during your YouTube rabbit holes, right? So you love to go on YouTube and find out about these strategies to what are people doing in business and all of that. Well, hey, we need to start adding some of this stuff to our big to-do list, okay? You can use AI tools to brainstorm more ideas. And the ones that you get that seem viable and that you actually want to implement, we need to move them over to our big list, okay? You can also revisit old journals for business goals. That's me right there. Let me tell you how I got so many notebooks. And before I left Mexico, I had to go through those notebooks and pull stuff and actually put them somewhere else so I can get rid of the physical notebooks. So these are 3 different ways you could be brainstorming to come up with these ideas for your big to-do list. Now, our next category is, okay, we come up with them. How do we capture ideas, how they come, no matter how we brainstorming them, right? So number 4 is going to be place tech at your fingertips. Let me get my fingers in the camera, okay? Place tech at your fingertips. We need stuff that's easy for us to access so that we will use it, okay? So I have different ways for you to do this. So jotting ideas down as they hit you prevents some of the mental clutter, okay? So there are some devices that you can use to capture your ideas and put them on the big list. And we have some that are like digital notebooks where you can kind of like write. So one of them is that Remarkable device. I'm seeing them do more commercials, almost like it's Christmas time. But Remarkable is the name of the actual product, and it's a digital notebook. Also, y'all know I love the Good Notes app for my iPad. That is another great way to have a digital notebook where you can kind of write, okay? Now, there are other digital notebooks. They're not right. You type into them, but we have great platforms for that too. So we have platforms like Notion. We have platforms like OneNote, and we have and Evergreen is just or Evernote, I'm sorry, is just another version of OneNote. It's just not a Microsoft product. But these are platforms that are purposely arranged like a digital notebook, an actual notebook. Okay. And then, of course, if you just want to capture stuff on the go, you got the note apps. Okay. You got note apps, not notebook apps, but note apps where you can get down a little quick thing and then get it to your notebook later. All right. Number 5, you can email yourself random ideas. Excuse me. You can email yourself random ideas. Also, you can keep a running Google Doc for your ideas, okay? A running Google document, because you can access Google documents from your phone if you have the Google Doc app on your phone, okay? So don't forget that. Number 6, capture. This is a little hack for your capture. A lot of y'all like to use voice notes, right? Or you're driving, you come up with something, you don't want to lose it, you're driving long distance, and so you want to do a voice note. Let me tell you how doing a voice note is not necessarily a good idea unless you're doing voice to text type brain dumps, okay? So even in your email, there's a microphone. Inside of Word, there's a microphone. I think there's a microphone inside of Google Docs, so you can dictate. Because if you do a voice note, now what you've done is you've given yourself more homework for later. Because now you got to see how to get it out of the voice note and dictate it and get it, transcribe it and get it onto a document. So you've added an extra step. So if you just voice to text directly into Google Doc, Microsoft, even in your email, then you're skipping the step of having to go back later and transcribe, okay? All right, let's go into our last category, and that is organize. So I have some hacks for you on how to organize all of these ideas. So organize your random thoughts. You can color code them. Okay, you can put them on different pages or on different sheets. You can create different notebooks that have different pages and different sheets. Okay, basically, what you want to be able to do is make them pop with color, okay, and make them easy to find. Now, let me tell you what I do. I tend to, let me give you a great example. For example, I may be researching marketing strategies, right? So I might be researching marketing strategies, or let's go with sales strategies. And I might put all sales strategies in one folder. Everything I come up with sales strategies, I'm putting it in one folder on my cloud storage. But then I recognize that a lot of the things I'm putting in this sales folder are kind of creating collections. So now within the sales folder, I might create a subfolder for funnels. I might create a subfolder for the best sales pages. I might create a subfolder for, I don't know, follow-ups. You know what I'm saying? Because I see that when I go in the big sales folder, it's starting to be a lot of stuff in there, but also things are starting to be kind of around the same vein or in the same collection. So now I'm creating subfolders for those things. So you can organize your random thoughts in different ways. So all of your ideas can be on one document, and then you can kind of separate that document out. One thing I love about Google Docs is it makes it very easy for you to have a table of contents that you can see the entire time or the entire length of the document. You can also put a table of contents on Word documents, but you start wherever you're gathering stuff to make sure that it is easy to access this stuff. There's going to come a time when you have to organize it, or else what's going to happen is you have this thing with all of these ideas, and because they're not kind of grouped and collected together for like things, it's not as valuable as it could be. Now you got to go down the whole thing every time to figure out what's in there. Okay. Number 8, use PMS to track ideas. And I'm not talking about lady things. I'm talking about project management systems. Okay. So know the difference between a task and a project. Start there. If you have written down a task or an idea, okay, and it takes multiple tasks to fulfill it, then that's not a task, that's a project. Okay. So when you have projects with multiple tasks to complete it, this is where project management systems come in. Now you can keep up and check in with this project, because most of us have projects that are not getting done all in one foul swoop. We have to keep coming back to it and kind of bite off this thing, because they say, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? So some of my favorites, or some popular ones, are Trello, Monday. My favorite is Asana, and those are project management systems, or PMS. Let's get into some creative ways. Some of y'all are creative and you need some visuals for how you keep your ideas. So ain't nothing wrong with a good old Pinterest board. Pin it up, pin it on a Pinterest board. Okay. That can help you with anything that has like a visual element to it. But also don't forget that Pinterest is becoming a great SEO engine, a search engine these days. And so they even have things that are not necessarily visual things. They just have a visual representation that you can pin onto your Pinterest board. Okay. So the last but not least is you can create a vision board. You can create a vision board for a collection of your ideas. This is where project management systems come in.
Did she freeze for anybody else? Oh, okay, yes.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Okay.
So it appears that our dear Shay is stuck, and usually when that happens, okay, she's
Oh, there
back.
she is.
Stuck, frozen. Am I stuck and frozen for everybody?
You were, but you're
We're
fine
back
now.
Okay. Well, y'all, how long was I froze? Was y'all missing something? Did we get to number 10?
No, we did not.
You did not. What number did I leave off on then? Or what's the last thing you heard? I froze at 10. So I already talked about the Pinterest board.
Yes.
Okay, good. The last thing was a vision board, that you can create a vision board for a collection of your ideas, just like you can create a vision board for a collection of the things in your life. So that was number 10. Okay, good. We didn't miss too much. Okay, let me get this question of the day ready for you guys. There you go. And let me put that on the YouTube side also. All right, cool beans. And we're going to start with Dr. Ayana when I go back through these 10. But the question of the day, so you can start thinking, is where do you currently keep your brilliant ideas as a big to-do list? And what's stopping you from routinely going back and pulling them into a plan of execution? Okay. Let me go through 1 through 10. All right. So the first 3 was in the category of brainstorming. Number 1 was brainstorm doing your YouTube rabbit hole researches. Go ahead and put those ideas on your big to-do list. Number 2 was use AI to brainstorm more ideas and get them on your to-do list. Number 3 was revisit some of your old journals, some of your old notebooks, for some of your money generating ideas to put on your big list. All right. Starting at number 4, we're in a new category of capturing these tasks and these ideas. So number 4 was place tech at your fingertips. We talked about digital notebooks that allow you to write, the remarkable device, the Good Notes app on your iPad. We even talked about digital platforms that are notebook, OneNote, Evernote, Notion. And we talked about note apps. Number 5, email yourself random ideas. Okay. You can always email yourself as a way to capture stuff while you're out and about. You can also use a running Google Doc, because if you have the Google Doc app, you can access it. Number 6 was voice to text rather than voice notes. Okay. We don't want to create an audio file. We want to voice to text inside of something that's going to capture the words so we can go back later and copy and paste into other stuff. Okay. Going into the last but not least, organized category. Number 7 was organize your random thoughts by color coding, by putting them on different pages or sheets, by putting them in different notebooks or folders, because we want to start to create collections. If you only leave things in huge, big lists or in huge piles, just think about it like that, then it's going to be hard for you to go through and find what you need as you start to collect more. Number 8, use PMS. Project management systems. First, know the difference between a task or an idea and an entire project. Second, go ahead and get a project management system so we can start organizing and executing. Number 9 was the Pinterest board, and number 10 was the vision board. All right. Now, I want to give you a little consideration before we hit our question of the day, and that is, when you create your big to-do list, okay, when we want to use that list and revisit it for money generating ideas and for standing out and for bringing freshness to our business, we want to look at that list monthly. We want to look at that list quarterly, and we definitely want to look at that list annually. And what we're doing is we want to review this thing with intention of bringing one or more of those revenue generating ideas to life. All right. Now, the question of the day, and we're going to start with Dr. Ayana. Where do you currently keep your brilliant ideas as a big to-do list, and what's stopping you from routinely going back and pulling things to create a plan of execution?
Morning, everyone. Well, I try to use multisensory stimulation for recall of my ideas. And with that being said, I like to, believe it or not, write my ideas so that it is etched in my brain. I will keep a running daily list on a calendar, also on a mobile calendar, and I will have a piece of paper next to me most times, particularly at my desk, for when ideas come forward. When I'm mobile, I will do voice to text notes as I'm driving or what have you. And I find that with my master list, because I can see it and because I have written it, that's at least 2 forms of sensory stimulation that allows it to be embedded in my brain as to what I need to be doing and keeping me on task. And then striking out is another way of stimulating my sensory to let me see that I have accomplished a goal that was business related. So if I find that I have not completed something on the list, typically my master, written list, it is typically because one of the ideas ran a little bit longer time-wise than I anticipated. And sometimes I'll even pack the to-do list for the day. I have a to-do list per day. Sometimes I'll pack it with more than what I think is really realistic for the day, and then I'll let it spill over into the next day and I'll reprioritize. Every day I have a micro.
Ma'am, hey, we talking about the big
I'm
list.
sorry.
We'll get to daily later in the
Oh,
week.
the big list, the big daily
The big
list. All
list is what we
right. So
talking
you
about
got the
today.
idea. You got the idea.
Gotcha.
And so and I'll add another, you didn't ask this, but I'm just gonna say I was really excited about that vision board idea. So I'm going to incorporate that because that's fun. Vision boards are always fun. I love the idea of doing that for the business. Thank you for your time and patience.
Dr. Ayala. All right, let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, where do you currently keep your brilliant ideas as a big to-do list? And what's stopping you from routinely going back and pulling these ideas of revenue generating ideas, I should say, into a plan of execution?
So it's what we like to call in research triangulation, many different methods. So I actually have the notepad on my both the iPad and my Mac, because it all connects, so I can kind of reach it anywhere. and I'll have running list of things. So for example, the things I'm going to do for Be More, it's a running list of all of those types of things. And then I also love writing, so I have a lot of notebooks. The problem with that, because I also like to make sure that I keep writing in cursive so that it
Mhm.
stays nice. So I purposely write everything I do in cursive. But the problem is that when those notebooks get full, I sometimes won't go back to those things. So I need to go back through those notebooks and probably digitize that information.
Yes.
So yes.
Which is why I suggest the digital notebooks that actually you can write. You see what I'm saying? So you got the Remarkable, you got the Good Notes app for your iPad type of thing. And most of y'all have the type of smartphone that has a stylus that you can kind of write stuff. So you won't lose that cursive even if you're using a device, and you don't have to worry about that transferring from a physical written notebook into some kind of digital thing. So keep that in mind too.
Okay.
Cool beans. Let's go to Heather. Heather, where do you currently keep your brilliant ideas as a big to-do list? And what's stopping you from routinely going back to that to-do list to pull things for you to execute?
So I actually don't really keep a running list of ideas, which is why I was like, I feel so seen because
Yes.
I just don't really, unless I'm sitting at my desk and I have my planner right here with me where I can write things down, I don't necessarily do that. And so this whole list of like how to keep track of it, I have been, and I know already what your face is going to look like when I say this, but I have been using my brain as a file cabinet.
You have.
And
Knowing that you're neurodivergent, so
I
why would you
know,
do
I
that?
know. So yeah, that's not super smart or helpful.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of doing the voice to text because
Yes.
I can just whip out my phone and be like boop and record and be done. So
Yes.
I'm going to start practicing that.
Okay. I love that for you. Cool beans. Let's go to Dr. Latoya. Dr. Latoya, where do you currently keep your brilliant ideas as a big to-do list? And what's stopping you from routinely going back and pulling those ideas out for execution?
Well, the where is very interesting. They're in a multitude of places,
Okay.
including backs of mail, voice notes in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually now I use Chat GPT. I use the
Okay.
voice feature on Chat GPT to
Mm-hmm.
actually dictate my things because that
Mm-hmm.
was how I could circumvent the when I said in voice, then later trying to get it to text.
Yep.
So I've been using that. And then I have tons of notebooks, but because there are tons of them with no system, I never
Yep.
remember which one I put it in. So I'll be flipping through a notebook and I'll be like, oh, dang, look, I should do this now. But that was an idea from like last year. Um, so with what we've talked about today, I really do like the Pinterest idea. I've been trying to figure out how to use Pinterest because I am visual,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that just help me a lot. And I just bought a new laptop, and
Okay.
I actually opened up the Notes app in the laptop yesterday, and like, so I think I'm going to try to use like a combination of those things.
Okay. I love it. I will tell you that when I was still relying on physical notebooks, one thing I started to do to try to kind of create my collections is I would use like the 3 subject and the 5 subject notebook and at least try to put like ideas behind a divider. But again, I started to collect notebooks and that's not they're not easily searchable and all of that kind of thing. So I had to get them into my digital world. So I would go back and then create these OneNote notebooks and pull that information in. So yeah, the physical notebooks, yeah, they don't help us as much as we think they do because and it's funny because I even sometimes think that I know exactly where in the notebook something is. Either it's because I know it happened after this thing that has a lot of notes and I can find the this thing. And if I just start there, it's, it should be a few pages after that. Baby, that never works. That is, what I think, where I think it is never where it is. So I'm glad that I've gone digital. All right, Keith, did you want to come off the mic or did you want to put yours in the, all right, Keith, come off the mic. So Keith, Where do you currently keep your big, brilliant idea list? And what's stopping you from routinely going back and reviewing it so that you can pull stuff out to execute?
I keep it 3 places. I keep it in a notebook,
Mhm.
then I transfer it to my Notion app.
Okay, Notion.
Then I will use Pinterest.
Okay. Y'all should have known Keith had a system. Look, copy off Keith paper.
The thing is, I don't really have no obstacles
Mhm.
because once you get that idea burning in your spirit, you
Yeah.
gotta act on it. So I set reminders like weekly, like okay, gotta do this, gotta do that.
Love it.
I
Okay.
I accomplished them.
Look at Keith. Keith be over there showing out. All right, Keith. All right, Keith. All right, Kimberly, you coming off the mic today? Or are you going to use the studio chat? Okay, you come off the mic. So the question is, where do you currently keep your brilliant ideas as a big to-do list? And what's stopping you from routinely going back and pulling things from that list with a plan of execution?
So I use notes like I do. Even like if I go to IG and I see an idea that out there, I'll copy that and paste it into notes so that I can go back to them. The problem is I don't go back to them, but I do have a long running notes.
Yeah.
I love the idea of Pinterest because I can definitely create like a private board, and I like voice to text, but I usually am good with putting it in my notes, but I'm not good with going back and executing and using those ideas.
Yeah. So you need to set aside time to do that because otherwise, all you've done is just gotten a little dopamine hit from your idea, but you
Yep.
haven't gotten a bank balance hit because you haven't executed. So we got to go back. Cool beans. All right. Does anybody have any questions about the big to-do list that are tasks for you, your revenue generating ideas and your brilliance? Tomorrow we're going to talk about a monthly to-do list. Does anybody have any questions? Cool beans. So the quick tips are nice, right? We gave you some strategies today. However, in our paid membership, we give you a system and tools to create goal-centric productivity for effective results. One of the strategies included in our paid membership is a quarterly goals planner that allows you to take things from your big to-do list and put them in rotation for execution quarterly. All right. So go to shaycannon.com/membership and join us. You want to get in there while it's still $97 a month because we are increasing it on next month in July. Another thing that we have as a tool in our paid membership is we actually have a template, a Asana board that's called your big to-do list. So you can get it in a project management system by uploading it. So we have that in there as a tool too. Now, this is another show notes. They got 10 strategies. We broke them up into 3 different collections, but if you want these notes, there's only 2 ways to get them. Number 1, they live in the files section of our free business mastermind group. Number 2, you can get the show notes and everything about the morning show in your email inbox by going to shaycannon.com/show. You'll get 2 emails every broadcast morning, 1 in the morning to remind you to join us live here on YouTube, and 1 in the afternoon with a link to the replay and a link to the show notes. All right. Hey, what's going on in our membership today? Tonight, we're having a Get Shit Done work session for paid members only. It's going to be from 5 p.m. Eastern Time to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So check your Google Calendar and your membership dashboard for details and links. I got a lot of stuff to do, so we might have an impromptu work session before our official hour. So check the private or keep a watch on the private Slack channel for a notification, all right? On Thursday, we have Collab Live. Bring what you need as a collaboration and what you will give in return as value to make it a win-win. I will go live in the group for that. So this has been the Her First Six Figures Morning Show, which is more of an interactive training and coaching experience as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first 6 figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. To find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, and how to join the highly valuable free business mastermind group, please check the description below for the link and more information. All right. If you haven't already, which hopefully you have, please give us a thumbs up and like this episode. I have seen the analytics, and there's a lot of you out here watching that are not subscribed. So I want to remind you, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything. And this is going to be 1 out of a 4 video series. So make sure you check out the other videos. All right. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day, and we'll see you right back.